This presentation is to go over what is economic scarcity. So scarcity is the demand of the people for a product versus the available resources to create that product. If there are insufficient resources, you're not going to be able to meet or to make enough production of that product in order to meet everybody's needs. The definition of a need is something essential, something to sustain basic life. So, for instance, food, water, shelter. The definition of a want is a desire for something beyond that life sustainability. So, travel, cars, a fancy home, those kind of things. For each of your sustainability efforts, there is a decision to be made of which product you are going to choose and which products you're going to let go. So scarcity requires a choice based on the limits of the available resources. Resources can be natural, such as land or oil. They can be monetary, dollar cents, other instruments of trade. They can be gold, silver. They can also be physical elements. So it can be plastic. It can be paper. The other physical elements that are needed to make the desired product. The scarcity is all about making choices. We have limited resources and we have unlimited wants. So for example, for an individual, we have 24 hours in the day. That's it. We don't get any extra. Do you spend those hours working to make money to pay for things that your family or yourself wants? Or do you take those extra hours, go home, find something to relax, or go do an activity, and make the memories versus making the dollars? For the government, one of theirs is natural resources. We only have so much land. There's only so much land available. Do they use that land to build schools or build infrastructure? Or do they use that land to build parks, leave it green space? Do they build more roads? And for businesses, they're kind of in a tricky spot because they have to balance scarcity as both a buyer and a seller. So when they're buying resources, they have to consider, the cost of that resource. They have to consider if it falls within their budget to make the product, if they're still going to be able to be profitable on their end result. They also have to think about the continuation of being able to buy that product to continue to make their end product. So they have to be able to verify that they can make it work on both ends. They have to make that decision as to whether or not, based on the resources they can buy, at the cost they can buy them, if they're going to continue with the production of that product. So retailers are really good at using verbiage to create a feeling of scarcity. They like things like limited time offers, Amazon loves, hey, there's 12 other people looking at the same product you are. Make sure you buy it before they do. They create that sense of urgency with purchase countdowns or seasonal offers. We're not going to have this again until next summer, so get it before it runs out. But every time there's a decision, and you have to make that decision of your comfortability, and it's not just about money. It's about, your time investment, your energy, what other opportunities are in front of you, in order to make that informed decision. And you have to remember that each choice that you make has a cost. So my example for scarcity is a picture of a beautiful waterfall and the eastern part of Kentucky. This waterfall for many years was considered to have some of the purest drinking water. While you are out hiking, you could just stick a cup under, grab a drink, go on. Unfortunately, that is not true anymore. The pollution levels have gotten to be bad enough that it does require processing in order to be safe drinking water. It's no longer a free resource, and it is now a scarce product based on the fact that it has to be cleaned, it has to be filtered in order to be safe, and that process requires labor, technology, production fees, and that cost is turned to consumers. But it also means that it's a limited resource because we can't just go and make more. We have to use what we have. I hope that my presentation has gone over scarcity and given you a little more understanding. Have a good night, and thank you.